The diagram represents the relationship between sets and subsets. So we've got rational numbers, section B, and then this set right here. Can someone tell me what this first set is right here? Whole numbers. And we know that because of the zero. Good. So section B's got to be between whole and rational, which is what group? Integers. So it's got to be integers. And so that would be which A, B, C, D?
Not here.
No.
The line was way too long.
Okay.
Like 2 section.
C would be the answer because integers are just negative and positive of whole.
It's good. I know. I'm saying you were right. No, me and Danny got that wrong because we overthought it way too much. We were like, we were overthinking it. Like, wouldn't the wouldn't the positive go down in the whole number? So would it necessarily be placed in section B?
No.
We were overthinking it a lot.
Okay.
Yep, and he's back too.
And then next thing you know,
That's what
Number
I
two.
said.
Okay, number two. Which diagram is not correct? Representation of the relationship between sets and subsets. Okay? So which of these is incorrect?
Wait, what?
J.
I think it's J.
I think it's J.
Okay.
I think it's J.
Why has it got to be J?
Because it's J.
Because 0 is an integer. So since 0 is an integer, it should be all the way inside of the integers.
Oh, that's not even why I thought that was wrong.
So J has got to be the right answer. Okay.
When you get it right, but like you basically got it wrong.
Number 3.
Failed successfully.
A list of numbers is shown. Okay, we got that list. Which diagram shows the correct placement of these things?
B.
B.
Okay.
B.
Yeah, B.
I think it's B.
Okay.
I think it's B.
I think it's B.
I
Wait,
agree.
are we supposed to have marking if we do it or something?
I agree with B.
I'm just changing my answers.
I agree with B. Yep.
No, I'm just.
B's the right answer.
Are we supposed to be like marking this and like?
Yeah, I did it wrong.
Mark them if you got them right or wrong.
Wait, what was number 1?
I don't remember. C.
C?
Robert and Dora need to write that number using scientific notation. Robert wrote 4.3 times 10 to the 8, and Dora wrote for that number 4.3 times 10 to the 9. Which one is correct?
G.
Okay, Dora's number is correct because when converting that number, the decimal would be located between the 4 and 3. Well, that's good. The original decimal had to move 9 places, so let's double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I skipped 1. 9. Okay, so they did move 9 places. So Dora was correct, and Robert was not. So G is the correct answer.
Hooray.
3.
A researcher measured approximately that many grams of bacteria in a sample. How is this number expressed in scientific notation?
B.
So we got to put the decimal between the 1 and the 5. And then we just count back from there. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't look like I did that, but I did. So 3, okay, so times 10 to the 3, and I heard that was less than 1, so it should be negative. Okay, so far, have there been any questions about these? These were okay so far? Yeah? Okay. Lucy estimated it would take 4,000 grains of sand to make a pound. That would mean each grain of sand weighs 1/4,000 of a pound. In decimal form, that would be 0.00030025. So this is the exact same question as above, right? How many do I need to move the decimal to get it to be between the 4 and the 5?
H.
1, 2, 3, 4, right? I had to move it 4 times to get it between the 2 and the 5, which in this case is H. Right? Number 7. Same thing again, except now we're going the opposite direction. It's the microsphere nanoscope. It feels like some video game reference.
That's a big word.
Is a powerful tool that allows humans to see structures that small in diameter. So, which direction do I need to move the decimal? Which direction do I need to move the decimal?
To the left.
To the left, how many?
Did you answer number 6?
9.
Yeah, did we get number 6?
Yes, we did. Okay. Number 9. So 9 to the left. Which 2 can I mark out because they're obviously not 9 to the left? Those are to the right. So we know those are incorrect. So if I have 9 point, I gotta go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many zeros am I gonna have? 8 zeros. So let's count which one has 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So B has 1 too many zeros, and so we have to go with A.
What was number 6?
H, you told me that.
Oh, I bet.
Okay, number 8 doesn't have ABCD. Number 8 says put these things on the graph. Okay? So first thing that I would do is I would go to the center and put a 0. And then I would maybe put -1 and -2 on there. And try to make it as even as possible. The reason I did that is because now it makes sense where I can put these things. Okay? 87.5 is what as a decimal?
87.5.
No, it's 0.875. So in blue, 0.875 should be somewhere right here. Okay? So hopefully you put it somewhere there. I don't know if you guys did what I did with the -1, -2, 1, and 2. Okay? Like I said, that might be a really beneficial way to do that. Now, where should the -2.25 go?
Right behind the -2.
Behind, it means which way?
To the left.
To the left of -2, okay. I'll buy that. Somewhere over there. Okay, and then what's 24 divided by 8?
4, 3.
3. So that goes on the 3. Okay, and then -1/4 should go where? Bless you.
Like right there.
Right behind 0. And lastly, this value is where?
Right.
Right after
Behind 8.
Yeah.
Behind the 0.875, but in front of 0. So it should look something like that. On the exam, it will be more like fill in the blank kind of thing, where it gives you the points on the line. So it'll have points like this. And then what you'll have to do is like drag this one to this one. So that's how it would look maybe on a computer test. The points would already be there, and then you would drag them to the correct point, okay? Okay? A color printer uses 4 colors of ink. The table shows the remaining ink level. Okay, we want to know least to greatest. Least to greatest. So, let's convert them all to decimal. 1/3 as a decimal is 0.33 repeating.
Oh, as a decimal.
Okay, and then what's 35% as a decimal?
0.35.
35.
And then 0.3 is given to us.
0.30.
And then 2/7 is what?
No, 3.5.
You have a calculator. Just do it on the calculator real quick.
I think it's like
.350.
Or just 0.35.
0.35?
I don't know about that.
No, it's like
Two of them can't be the same.
It's like 0.2. It's like 0.28 or something.
0.28.
Hey, where'd Bubba go?
He's still
He's
eating
still
breakfast.
eating breakfast.
I wanted to eat breakfast.
I told you that you could do that in here. What'd you get? 2 divided by 7. 2.8 something?
We knew it. We literally knew it.
Okay.
0.28.
Okay, my bad. Okay. So, which one is the least?
Yellow.
So, we don't even need to do anything else. We already know it's D because yellow is the least. Is that what you guys got?
Yeah. You know what it is?
Mr. No, I have a 100
Great.
I have a 90 so far.
Okay, the track team had 5 students that competed in discus throwing. The table shows how far each of them threw. Okay, so we've got 5 students throwing disc. What was the student's average distance away from the mean? So what is this thing that we're looking for?
The average.
We're looking for the mean absolute deviation.
And
So, first thing we have to do is do what?
Add them up.
We have to add them up and divide. So when you add these up, 32 plus 45 plus 23 plus 35 plus 30, all divided by 5, what do you get?
Oh, my bad. 33.
Exactly?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Because it ends in a 5. Okay, yeah, I'll buy that. Okay, and then now we have to take 33 and subtract it from each of the items in the table. So what I'm going to do is just put a line underneath the table here, and I'm going to put distance away. DA, distance away. So how far away is 32 from 33? 1. How far is it from 45?
12.
From 23?
12.
13.
My bad. I was thinking of 35.
35? 2. And 30.
3.
3. Okay, so now what do we need to do with those values?
Add them up and divide by 5.
Okay, add them up and divide by 5. So we have, 13, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28?
Yeah, buddy.
28, right? Okay, 28 divided by 5. Do we need to continue? Do I need to find out what 28 divided by 5 is? No, because H has got to be the answer. Because when I'm dividing 28 by 5, it's not going to be 33, it's not going to be 28, and it's not going to be 0. Right? Okay, but if we do divide, that's 5, and then 3 left over, 0.6. Okay. So this one was tricky, I guess, because if you only read mean, you would have circled G.
I did on accident.
That's okay. And if you added these up and didn't divide, you would have circled J. So they're going to put fake answers on the test, okay? So make sure you read the question and you read average distance away. Okay, the visual representation describes the relationship between the sets and subsets of numbers. What does section A represent? This one should be easy. Section A,
D. Real number.
real numbers. Why? Because both irrational and rational numbers are real. Okay? So, I also like how they matched ABCD to ABCD here, but that's not really. Okay? Which Venn diagram correctly describes the relationship between the set of rational numbers Q and the set of irrational numbers I? So, can those two things be the same?
No. J.
It's G.
G. They can't overlap. Right? Rational and irrational do not overlap. If you look at the previous question, The previous question had D and B separated. They're separated, and they're separated because nothing in Q is in I. Okay, you cannot have rational and irrational at the same time. It's one or the other. Any questions so far? I think most of these have just been two ideas. Most of these have been scientific notation and numbers. Okay, so there's none of that. Okay, the equation s squared equals 133 represents the square with an area of 133 inches. Okay, so this one is applying ideas from the square and square root section. How do we know that? Because it's square, area. Those give us the clues that we're dealing with square root. Okay? So what should I do with 133 to find the area of one side? Take the square root. Okay? Why? Because how do I undo a square? Square root. So for example, s squared equals, so we have the square root and square, those cancel each other, and we're left with s equals the square root of 133. Okay, so what is a perfect square less than this value? What's a perfect square less than that value?
121.
Square root of 121. And what's a perfect square larger than that?
144.
The square root of 144. So where are those two numbers on the chart?
11 and 12.
Here and here. And this number is where?
In the middle.
In between them. So I hope we got that as our value. Now, because y'all have calculators, what could you have done?
Just
You could have just typed in square root of 133 equals, and you would have gotten 11.6 ... Oh, hey, guess what? That's right here between 11 and 12. Okay? So you didn't have to do the perfect squares that I did. You could have just typed it in and gotten the same value. Now, that's exactly how you could do this one as well. Okay? You just type this in the calculator. Type this in the calculator. Type this. Type this. Now, you don't have to do that for all of them, but for example, F. F is in that range, yeah. Maybe. So we need to type these in the calculator and see where they fall. I think probably these two are too high, and this one is too low, but that's based on prior knowledge. So, what is 13.8 times 13.8?
200.
I understand.
190.44.
190
Yeah. Oh.
point what?
44.
Okay. And then what's 14.5 squared?
210.25.
well, it was
Okay.
low by
So this means that F is wrong. This means that H and J are wrong. So is there more than one way to do these problems?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. We could have found the answer for each one and checked to see if it was between. Or we could square each thing and check if our answers match the squared values. So G. Question?
it was 0.44 too small. That was a hard one.
Yeah, F and G were the only ones that I thought it could be. But yeah, F was just outside the range. Okay, 15. Once again, what do you know to do based on this first sentence right here?
Square root.
You're doing square or square root. Okay, it says area of a square is this, so you know you're going to be doing squaring or square rooting. Okay, now it says what is the closest, which value is closest to the length of each side? So, based on the formula we just had, I can square root both sides. Square root cancels the square, and we're left with S equals the square root of 22. And what is that value?
$4.7.
Should we trust him?
Wait, hold on. Yes.
No.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. I can't do that in my head very easily, so I'm gonna trust that it's obviously not 11. How could you have gotten 11? What might somebody have done to get 11?
Divided by 2.
Divided by 2. Okay, so please, square does not mean divide by 2. Okay, now how could someone have gotten D?
I actually
Five
multiplying
times
them.
22.
Multiplying.
22 times 22.
Oh.
So if they accidentally did the opposite of what we were supposed to do. Okay, and then A and B are really close, so that just makes you have to do the math. 16. Which point on the number line best represents the value of the square root of 1/20th? Wow. So this seems like a really hard question. But there's an easy solution. What's the square root of 1?
1.
1. So our actual question is, what's the square root of 20? So that way, when we find that out, then we can simply divide. Or you could plug that entire thing in the calculator, and if you did that, it would look like this. Square root, parentheses, 1 divided by 20, close parentheses. So if you do that, which value do you get?
0.05.
I'm sorry?
Wait.
0.05 is this thing,
Without.
but you still have to square root that. So square root 0.05. What do you get?
0.223.
0.223. So where's 0.223?
E. Wait. Yeah. E.
E. 0.223. Is that right?
That's why I don't like math.
Yeah. It's. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's above 0.2 and then. It's
I mean,
above-
but wouldn't this be 0.21 and 0.22? So shouldn't F be the right answer? Because each line, that's 0.20, that's 0.21, that's 0.22, right? Yes? So I believe F is the correct point. So that would give us H. So just be careful. Anytime you have things where there's a blank space, fill in what those values are on these lines. That way you don't accidentally get the wrong answer when you knew the right answer. Okay. Sam was asked to place numbers listed in order from least to greatest. Holy moly. That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
After ordering the numbers from least to greatest, what number would Sam have in the 5th position? Okay, great. So we don't have to worry about anything. We just need to know which one would he have in the 5th position. So, oh man, I guess we do have to do all of them. Okay, let's start changing them to decimals.
I would just pick C.
No, I would say A.
Yeah, I would say A.
Okay,
Yeah, C as
okay,
the
hold on,
decimal.
hold on. Shh. We're not gonna just pick because we want to pick. We're gonna work through the problem. How many of them are negative? How many of these are negative?
2, 3.
1, 2, 3. So I don't need to worry about any of those. Okay? So I'm gonna put number 1 and I'm gonna mark it out. Number 2 and I'm gonna mark it out. Number 3 and I'm gonna mark it out. Why can I do what I just did? What number do I care about? The 5th number. So if I have 3 negatives, I know those are going to be smaller than everything else, right? So I just need to find the 4th and 5th number. Okay. So 1/3 is 0.33, repeating. Okay, what about the square root of 3?
Like 1 point. Like, I think it's like
1.73.
1.8? Yeah, okay. 1%.
1.73, and we know that 2/7, we did it earlier, was 0.28. So 9/7 has to be 1.28. Do I need to mess with the 350%? Why? Because that would be a really big value, 3.5. So that's out of the question. Pi is also 3 something. So that's going to be out of the question. So we're done with those two. 4 is way too big. Okay, and so we have 1.22. So what's the smallest number out of the ones we have there?
0.33.
0.33. And then the fifth number,
1.22.
1.22 repeating. Okay, so please, 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 if you have something like this where it says, hey, I want the 7th number, look and see if there's a way to eliminate a lot of numbers at one time. I eliminated all of the negative numbers because I knew that they were smaller than the 5th value. Okay, so you don't have to do every single piece. You don't have to do every single piece. Okay. 18. Miss Long wrote the numbers shown on a whiteboard. Okay. Which list is in order from what?
Least to greatest.
Okay, least to greatest. Several times I saw people write on the homeworks backward, least to greatest. So we want to start small and get big. Okay, so we have to find the decimal or find whatever for each of these values so we can do this. So let's see. 5/4 is 0.8. What's the square root of 9?
3.
That one was easy. Negative 0.95 stays the same. Ooh, how about we divide this before we do the square root? What is 32 divided by 8?
4.
So what's the square root of 4? So that's 2. So this one's a lot easier than the previous one. The previous one had some tough numbers. Okay, and then lastly we got to do that one. So what's the square root of 6? Negative 2 point dot dot dot. I'm just going to put negative 2. Okay? Why once again, why can I just put negative 2? Is there anything smaller than negative 2? Is there any, hey, you two at the front, Mason, Garen, is there anything smaller than negative 2?
No.
No, so I don't care what the decimal is. So we can automatically mark off which values.
F and J.
F and J because they don't start with negative 2. So you notice I'm just doing this in a way that is going to reduce the amount of work that I have to do. Okay, what has to come next? The other negative. Okay, so those both are good. And then what is the next smallest? 0.8, 3, or 2?
0.8.
So that's the third number, not this. Must be H. Okay. So we've got two numbers on this number line. Which value is not located between them? Let's solve this first. Okay. What is the square root of 16?
4.
4. What is 2 times 4?
8.
8. So that number is 8. And this number is 3.14. Okay. It says which is not. Okay? Not. So that's important. Circle that, underline it, highlight it, whatever you want to do. Just remember, if you see a not, it's probably important. Because I guarantee you, someone is going to circle A and be done. Someone's going to say, oh, 2 pi, that's between those, because that's 6 something. No, it says not. Okay, what's the square root of 16?
4.
6.28, yeah, it's 4. Okay, what is 16 divided by 3?
Like 5.
5 points.
So here, what we're going to do is just say this is about 5. So squiggly. Once again, I'm not doing the exact number. I know 15 divided by 3 is 5. So 16 divided by 3.14 should be close to 5. Okay, so then what is pi squared?
like 9 point.
So hold on. We're,
6.28.
no, squared. It's roughly 9. Okay, we're going to say 9. It's actually closer to 9.9. Okay, now, what is 9.9 divided by 16?
Like
Roughly 0.6. Now, what could you have done? Zachary, what could you have done? Instead of the guessing that I'm doing, you can just type this in the calculator. Okay? If you type that in, what do you get? 0.6 what? Exactly? It just repeats? Okay, cool. So, which of these is not between 3.14 and 8?
D.
D. What happened?
Uh-oh.
D. Okay, so once again, be careful of the not. Okay, last question. An inequality is shown. Okay, which value? This is the exact same question. Which value will not make it true? So in other words, which one is not between these two values? So let's just change them to a decimal. What's 2 divided by 9? 0.22 repeating. And 0.29. Okay? So what do I need to do with my values over here? I just need to plug them in the calculator. Maybe not J. J we know is 0.25. I hope we know J is 0.25, okay? I hope we know that. Okay, what's 29 over 111?
0.26.
0.26. Okay, what about square root of 0.04?
Like 0.02.
Yes, 0.2.
0.2, good. And Kobe, the reason it's not
Yeah, I see
0.02 is because when I multiply two decimals,
They go into the smaller.
you count up your total number of decimals. So 0.2 times 0.2 is 4, but how many decimals do I have here?
2.
1, 2, so I get 0.04.
Yeah, I realized that after
Okay.
I said it.
You're good. And then 0.239. So which of these is not between this one, this one, this one are? So it's got to be G. Okay.